Okay, so it's Sunday the whatever, but we're 6 days from the start, so that means it's the 22nd. Dan the man, good to see you, mate.
Yeah, good to see you.
This guy's from Adelaide, my hometown as well, and he's got a beautiful 580 Immortal game. And we're just going to do, this is the first of the run-throughs, profiles and stuff like that. So so you must be feeling pretty good because you were pretty stressed getting here, lost the boat, lost bits and pieces and time running out, and you're here, so that's good.
Absolutely, yeah. So the boat was supposed to be here around about 6 weeks ago, or 7 weeks ago now, and it rocked up 1 week ago. So what we thought we had 6 weeks to do, we've had 1 week to do. So.
Okay, very cool. All right, well, we're just going to go through the whole lot. I'm going to take the camera from Jane so we can angle it the right way. Let's go down and have a look. So we all know about the 580s, and this is a pretty good example. It's looking really slick. What was your what was your biggest challenge about this whole deal building? Forget about the challenge.
Well, for me, when the plans came out back in 2020 or whatever it was, I had no boat building experience whatsoever, and so for me, trying to build a boat was a massive challenge because I'd never built anything in my life. So the biggest story is I never even knew how to use a plane, so I was YouTubing how to do that sort of stuff. And so the first year was very challenging because a lot of my time was spent just planning and trying to learn things. So after that, things wound up a bit. But we've got the end product here now, and I'm really excited and very proud for what I've done.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. What for the build? What do you reckon was the toughest challenge? You know what I mean?
Sanding is always
always on the grinding.
It's always the challenging bit, especially like where we built the boat in our carport. We had about 200 mil on one side, so I would be there, right trying to get into one side of the boat.
Torture boarding.
Torture boarding.
The hull looks pretty good to me.
So, but I'm doing everything. And some of the days, like the fiberglassing, Nikki and I did a 24-hour day once. We spent
24-hour day.
We did the fiberglassing all in one day, but we didn't want it to dry, so we just kept going until.
Who was helping you? Anyone helping you?
My wife. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, Tommy Crabb, he helped me for the start. For the first 10 or so hours, and then we left us to it. So.
She's a champion, I got to tell you. Yeah. We'll grab her. It's a long story.
Going, yeah,
okay,
cool.
so that's your fond memory, torture boarding.
Yeah,
and all that
torture
sort of
boarding.
Stuff.
Yeah,
so,
certainly.
Okay, so you got a Sheldon rig. That's pretty straightforward.
Yeah,
you got the EVA foam.
Yeah, EVA foam. So this is the CDEC foam that you recommended after doing the first transit.
Is that the real deal from America?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Because
bought it straight from America.
They have. Yeah, it only seems to be you can get that in America, but
I got it imported from America because I wanted to make sure we got the right stuff.
I better be careful what I say.
Yeah.
It's not an ad. They don't support us.
No,
but it is,
okay.
On a little boat, it's so critical because you're on your knees and crawling around and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's one of the best decisions I know I've made. Like I've been up on the deck a bit now. I can talk a bit about that later with my furler, but when I was up on the deck and just having that underneath me, I felt really secure and safe and comfortable. So
too true. Tell us about this. This is an eye opener for me because I should say our partners in electric outboards. In fact, all of the outboards got to be electric. We don't allow any hydrocarbons on the boat for that. But so E-Propulsion is our partner. But nonetheless, this is a new one. Tell us about it.
Yeah. Well, so I had a Torpedo originally. It was my dad's, and I didn't want to. We weren't allowed to put any lithium in the containers, and so I ended up selling that one in Australia and got a brand new one sent to Spain for me to pick up when I arrived a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. And it wasn't until I unpacked it literally last week that I found out it was unfortunately damaged in transport. And these guys, I got straight onto them and they offered to help me out. And that comes from Slovenia, so I was thinking, there's no way I'm going to get this here in time.
Just pick it up,
and here we go.
It's just like a bloody fin that hangs off the back of the boat.
Yeah,
one of the
it's
other
just a single fin, so it's an integrated battery all in one.
It's not as light as you made it look then, but it's...
No, it's a little bit heavier than what you think, but it's still, I think, one of the lightest in its classes, and it's just got the single connection point up here. And the controls here, and then you've got your kill switch just attaches there, and that's it. Yeah. It's very simple. It's just got two buttons and whatever. So,
all right, that's enough of a plug for Remo.
That's right. Yes, that's enough.
Okay, so you've got your standard rig. You got one cowl ventilator there. Everyone's got to have at least two vents.
Yeah, I got the one there, and I got the two vents on the side.
You got the bubble. What made you go with a bubble?
I thought it was cool to start with, and after seeing yours, that's pretty well the biggest thing. But it made sense to me that I can, if I'm asleep, I can just quickly wake up, and if there's noises or even just wanting to see what the rigging's doing or what the sails are doing, I can have a quick look through there rather than having to get up on deck. So
I'm a big fan of bubbles, as you know.
And the story for that one is a pretty funny one. I actually got it from the Sydney Aquarium, which was pretty funny. So It was supposed to be for the fish, for the kids look through the hole.
Yeah.
And they had some spares there, so I got it pretty cheap, which is pretty cool.
That's a classic. So it's a fish bubble.
Yeah, it's a fish bubble, yeah.
Bloody hell. All right. And so the other funny part about this is, so one design class, but there's enough room to customise certain things for you. What's special about this? So you obviously haven't got the standard sliding companionway, but everyone's going for full hatches and stuff.
Yeah. So the biggest thing for me, like I haven't gone with a Traveller.
Yeah.
So I've just got the connection points here, so I wanted to keep this as open as possible.
Yeah.
And obviously not racing around the cans. It's I'm not going to be working a Traveller, so I'll just essentially clip it onto wherever I am. And if I'm going way outboard, I can clip it right on the outside of the boat and get the sail right out the outside and open this right up.
It's actually a good idea. We put a Traveller on tracker, but in hindsight, I probably wouldn't now. It's the same, the GGR guys do all that as well, you know.
Yeah.
We'll talk about your sailing background because you're actually a performance sailor, so it's kind of interesting. Okay, and you've got a new transom board. What's that all about?
Yeah, so certainly a bit of talk around town about these things at the moment, but it was the decision for me was I'm not terribly experienced in wind vanes, and after much decision making and understanding that I need sleep on this race, I've made the decision to go with the hydro vane at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I've the last one of the big jobs I've had since I've been here is trying to strengthen up the transom and get this as secure as possible.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the rudder with me. If I'm not happy in Lanzarote or whatever, I'll make a change. But I think it's with this extra board running all the way across and the teak on the back and whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel it's going to be strong, but at the end of the day, we just have to see what happens. And I've made the decision what I think's right for me. So
yeah, I explain that to people that are watching this. It's kind of strange because each of the boats has a normal rudder, but we've given approval for fitting of the hydro vane on the centerline, so you're able to remove the rudder and mount it on the centerline, provided they meet certain criteria like running the same tiller and all that sort of stuff. So it's quite a big decision for the class. We discussed it at length with existing guys that all had wind vanes and bits and pieces, but that's the decision we made. They're incredibly strong. The mounts are incredibly strong for this size boat. Some will mount it offset, as you'll see later on, but you do have the option now to drop the rudder, take the rudder off completely. Where's your rudder now?
It's just on the other side of the thing there, yeah.
Where is it?
Just on the other side.
Oh, it's gone.
Keep going straight ahead, where Jane is.
No, it's not there. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's his rudder off the boat now. That's the standard rudder. And it turns out that the hydro vane rudder is actually the same size. I'm just swimming this gimbal around. Same size in the water as the 580 rudder. Yeah. And the hydro vane, of course, is a auxiliary rudder steering system. So normally you have your ship's rudder, and then this is a backup if you have an emergency and you lose your steering. You can use this as a rudder. But in this application, with the size of the boat, it was a big decision. So anyway, that explains that one. So, and you've got your panels on a Targa in here?
Yeah, another decision, like obviously some of the guys have got them mounted, and obviously girls got them mounted where you can angle them and those sorts of things, and understand I'll lose some power having them mounted the way they are. I've done this reason noting that I'll lose some, some of the efficiency, but knowing they're solid. So essentially, if I get wiped over, wiped out, these should stay no matter what. I have got a little wind gen. I don't know if I'm going to run it yet. I have to change this because the hydro vane's it's in the way of the hydro vane at the moment. But I'm going to take this off. But I have got a little wind generator which is allowed for the mini globe race. But I'm not sure if I'm going to use it yet.
You can break that, and so you can lift that section off.
That's going to come off.
Yeah, gotcha.
But I'll have a bit of a play around with that across the Atlantic and see what I think.
Okay, you got a camera mount here.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, that was similar to the one that they showed the other day. So
yeah, that's cool. All right, so you've got a floodlight here, and you've got your EchoMax transponder, radar detector.
Things still need a bit of tightening up, but yeah, that's EchoMax there. I've got my Iridium Go antenna out the back here.
Australian.
Yeah.
He really is Australian, not a Kiwi. He's got a Federation star there.
Iridium Go antenna over that side.
Yeah.
This is the wind generator. That's where I can power that up from there. And I've got my ST1000 that can connect in from this side.
Yeah.
With this tiller mount, I'm going to have to change this here because it's a little bit of a different angle now. But other than that, that should run pretty smoothly for how it was originally set up.
So you got two little autopilots?
I've got two ST1000s, Ray Marines, which is the smallest in the class. Yeah,
that's cool. I'll just take my shoes off. Okay, I'll try and get on board here. I buggered up my leg this morning.
Okay, you're right.
No, that's cool. Oh, jeepers, hang on to the camera, Gene. Yeah, I popped a tendon. Long
Okay,
story.
shit, okay.
Okay, yes, you can film the young man getting on board. Thank you, Gene. Okay, that's not going to live there, is it?
No,
that's
just
cool.
taking
That's
stuff away at the moment. So yeah.
Spooky hatch. Okay, so back here you've just got all the usual bits.
Yeah, just-
Anderson winches, all the usual jammers and clam cleats. Cam cleats and
yeah, got all that. I've got to rerun the lines, but I've got the jack jack stays running up the sides here.
Yeah.
But everything's pretty standard, pretty everything running back to the cockpit.
Got two vents here, two in the back to create a flow, one each side.
Yep.
Plastimo contest compass, all that stuff. Okay. Ooh, I like the feel of this EVA.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Geez, are they carbon fibre?
No, they're
so
there's timber, but it's.
Do you want to explain what they are? I know what they are.
So they're the foils for the back, but yeah, so they've just got like a carbon
lookalike.
Carbon lookalike, yeah.
Okay.
So,
yeah, there's two fins that you can put on the transom at the back there.
That's right,
and
yeah.
let's just explain. You're getting the big Cook's tour here because some people haven't seen the 580s and what they're all about.
Yeah.
You want to tell them about the drainage and all that sort of
Yeah,
stuff?
so we've put the, as part of the class, you need to put the two the smaller drains at the back here, and also a 10 centimetre one to easily get flooding drain. If this gets filled up with water, that which it will, the majority, well at least up to here, will get discharged pretty quickly, and then obviously once it's at a
actually yours are all bigger than required. The same in the corner there. There's some in the corners of the cockpit.
Yeah,
seat here.
I put them in just because I hate having just a little bit of water running in here. So
yeah, we had little ones, but that's a good one, big size. So
whatever.
That's common.
And
all the builders never put. That's for commissioning plate. That one there it says the 580, but that's when you launched it and who. That's what it's for.
Okay, there you go.
No one ever does it, but I don't know whether we officially told them. So that's cool.
And then just got the two hatches on the top here. Not allowed to have them on the side, so we've got these watertight hatches on the top.
Cool.
And the Plastimo bilge just on the side
pumps
there as well.
So you got external pump. Yeah, the boats are like a little mini round the world race, and it pretty much meets a lot of the Category O requirements under world sailing. All right, let's jump below and see what happens.
Look, we've got a bit of a mess down here. We're still sorting things out, but come on down.
Yep. Okay. Boom, boom. Okay, take the camera. Okay, I'm in.
Alrighty.
Okay, so here we go. Ooh, what a cool looking little boat. Now I've got to work out, we can't change the lens on this one, can we, Jane? We can't go super wide. Here we go. It's as wide as it goes, but there used to be a wide, on a normal one there's a wide thing. No, it's just, that's normal, that must be it. Okay. All right, so here we go. Let's start where we're looking, the electrical system.
Yeah.
That's very impressive.
Yeah.
It looks like it's waterproof.
It is, yeah. So commissioned a guy, good marine electrician in Adelaide, Andy Shipp, to help me out with all this. Or he did, he did it all. I ran some of the lines, but he did basically the majority of it. It's not something I really was too competent in. So he's done an amazing job though. So it's all really neat, and it's all quite simple. I've got a
so it's all in a watertight box.
Yeah.
Very simple. You have a wiring diagram, battery switch there.
Yep.
Got your voltmeters. You got twin. Oh, because you got lithium batteries.
Yes.
You?
Yeah.
Yeah. So lithium batteries with two completely independent, or two separate batteries.
Yeah. So you can't cross
them over.
You can't cross them over. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, that's part of the requirement too if you've got an autopilot, so you don't flatten both batteries.
Yeah.
And your system's all approved, eh?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Another requirement we have.
Yeah, it's all signed off, and yeah.
Normally we don't approve the electrical system, but as soon as you go lithium, that's pretty important. So,
yeah.
So that's cool.
And then, but all the standard sort of stuff, it's all very simple. The VHF, I've got some DC, USB charging, and the cigarette lighter type style.
Yeah.
VHF, which is sort of behind you.
Yeah.
B&G instrument, I've just got like a swing arm that I can swing over and see from either downstairs or up on the cockpit.
Okay.
And then you've just got your sort of the the AUS system, and up here, and splitter and all that sort of stuff.
Everything.
Anchor lights, tricolours, all different on different points. So I've got my little fan here.
Yeah, fan of yours.
So that's
and if I remember right, Tom Crabb was a big helper, so is Yacht Lab.
That's right.
And
yeah,
Vallis family and Dan too, because I've got a good memory. Eh?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So there's been a lot of people that have really helped out through this process. From family to friends, and everyone. It's been a big community in Adelaide, and it's really growing. So everyone in South Australia is sort of behind me now, which is really cool, and Australia. But yeah, it's exciting, and I'm really happy to have everyone help me out and be part of the journey.
The Adelaide thing's crazy, Because that's my hometown. I was a member of the squadron for like, I don't know, 20 years or something, for forever and a day.
Yeah.
And now we've had Adelaide entries in the GGR and the OGR, and now in the MGR we've got an Adelaide entry again too.
All of them. So.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And so this is your chart table. There's a big bin.
Yeah, basically.
You see each boat's different, but it's good to have space.
Yeah, we're just trying to keep it as much space as possible. I'll set things up a bit better than what it is at the moment, but it's sort of a...
Yeah, we're in the middle of sorting processes and work. Although it looks like you've done just about most of the jobs now.
That's right. Yeah, we've done the big thing. So we just had to focus on getting the things that we needed to do as part of the so I could sail at least first, and then the major jobs to get me on the water, and I can just keep working on the little stuff as we go, sort of thing.
Cool. So I'm going to swap sides with you here and show us your galley.
Yeah.
You got tiny bloody gas cans.
Yeah, so tiny gas cans. I've got a little custom-made little gimbal here. That's basically all the cooking I'll do. I've got a little sink, but it's not connected or nothing. It's just a just a
pop-up
little
one.
well or whatever.
Yeah.
I've got a crash helmet for when I'm doing things, and then basically I'm originally in the forces, so I don't need to have great meals or nothing. As long as I'm getting the nutrition down, that's the main thing. But I've got like a lot of these like little bags that have already, they're not dry meals or anything. They're just like these on-track meals from Australia, where we can just heat them up in the bag and then straight out, or cold if you want to, and just eat them straight away.
Oh, so they're wet food?
Wet food, yeah.
Ah, jeepers, that's pretty cool.
Really good stuff.
I'm a big fan of wet food.
Yeah.
So you don't have to keep putting water in it.
No, you can eat it cold, or
so what were these worth? How much they cost?
Well, they've helped me out a bit with...
For what they normally cost, I should say.
I think they're somewhere around about $15 a bag, Australian, so...
That's cool.
Whatever that is. So.
It's just so easy, because I, when I did the transatlantic, you had virtually all wet food, and I just eat it cold.
Yeah.
I lit the stove 3 times just to make sure
I was looking, some of the stuff from Europe, but it was hard to get. So this is like the Australian version, and it's pretty good stuff. So
yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Okay, and then up here you've got your VHF there, and your PLB and bits and pieces. Yep.
Yeah, so that's all.
That's easy.
Very, very.
And here's the bubble. Boom. I don't know if you get up in there, but it's pretty cool. I'm a big fan of bubbles, and in fact, on tracker, I could actually stand there. I see the height. Well, you're on the hull, so it'll be the same thing. See, my shoulders are wedged in there, so I can't rock around, which is really cool.
Get more wet weather gear on up in there. And,
okay, so watertight bulkhead there with the hatch, and you got your batteries this side. So what else is up there?
Yeah, so I've got my weight back a bit, but I'm not going to have much weight up forward at all. I've just got the depth sound, the echo sounder down in here. Mostly it's just going to be sails and a bit of light storage. I do have an anchor up there, but other than that, it's mostly light stuff. I'll play around with the weight as we go, but I'm kind of trying to keep not too much weight up there at the start with. Just storage for ropes.
Fishing gear.
Yeah,
it's not a holiday. It's a serious race. Jeepers.
Yeah, I'm from Port Lincoln, so I can't help myself.
Oh boy, Adelaide Timber Boatworks, Jump Ship Brewing, Business Supporters, the Yacht Lab. Oh, that's the business supporters. That's your business supporters.
There's just got a whole bunch of others as well, but a whole bunch
David
of
Gosden. Jeepers, I know him. That's from a long time ago. Jeepers, he's an Adelaide guy.
No, that's another guy, Dan Gosden, one of my mates.
Oh, Dan Gosden. Yeah. No, there's a David Gosden on it. Anyway, that's cool. All right, so and these are pump up.
This one's a proper mattress. One that I had at mattress.
Yeah.
That was just a pump up I got from.
That's a bit like I just realised I'm sitting on a big cushion. I'm thinking, what the hell?
Yeah, that's.
And you got watertight bulkhead there.
Watertight bulkhead. Yeah, there is a little hatch that I can sort of stick my hand through if I need to.
And there's your life raft. Have you done you've done your 15 seconds, haven't you?
Yeah, 8 seconds.
Okay. So we let them keep. There's a special life raft. There's a Plastimo life raft developed for the Class Mini 650s. So you're allowed to keep them inside, but you've got to get them out and over the side within 15 seconds. So we test everyone to make sure they can do it. So that's cool. Okay, so just now I know you've done the Melbourne Osaka race. Yep. That's the big thing. I think that's the first time I actually saw you or got to hear about you in the Melbourne Osaka race. So you're a short-handed sailor. You're a racing performance sailor. Tell us the transition from all of that to Mini Globe Race.
So I So I've sort of told the story a bit before, but when I was a kid, I also grew up sailing and worked through the classes from Holdfast Trainers, which is a little class in South Australia that we had, and then 125s, lasers, tasers, and all that sort of thing in the army. But I really had dreams of doing a few races, one in Sydney Hobart, the Melbourne to Osaka race, and obviously an around the world race. And it was with my grandfathers that back in the day I used to sit on the laps and we'd watch. This is back in the late '80s and early '90s, and he'd tape all these videos. And when I'd go around there, we'd watch them all. And I always had these dreams as a kid that I would do these races. But in the army and life gets old, and ended up sort of putting it to one side. And then it wasn't until my grandfather passed away, I was like, and I'd been doing some other endurance stuff with running and whatever, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to go and do these things that I wanted to do when I was a kid. So this was back in 2016, and I've just been working on achieving my goals since. So I managed to get the Sydney Hobart race done. Melbourne to Osaka was the one to see whether or not maybe I'd be capable of doing an around the world race. But then after the Melbourne to Osaka, I was like, well, that's the next goal is around the world. But I looked at different classes, like the class, the 40 footers that go around the world and that sort of thing. But the biggest thing for me is budget, and I didn't have the budget to do any of these races. And even Golden Globe race was probably a bit too difficult for me.
Wrong. You just want extreme adventure. So
yeah, well, that's maybe another one.
But,
yeah, but then once that once the class plans came out, I was like, hang on a sec.
Is this a joke or is this real?
Yeah, and it really excited me. One, because it was affordable. Two, because my grandfather was a boat builder, but sort of lost the skills somewhere down the line. And it's like, you know what, I'm going to give this a crack and see how we go. But also, it hasn't been done before. So one of the big things for me and what excites me is that it hasn't been done before. If this race had already been raced, then it probably wouldn't have the appeal it does for me now. Because I've always wanted to do something that hasn't been done before, and the excitement of not knowing the outcome is obviously is huge for me. Yeah. And people telling me it can't be done drives me even more. So
I remember I was in the squadron with you, and we were having a dinner. I think it was about the Ocean Globe race.
Yeah.
And you were there that night, and then we were on another table with a bunch of people, and I started to tell them, I said, oh, yeah, Dan over there, he's going to race one of our 580s, around the world. And they said, what's that? And I said, oh, it's a little 19-foot boat. You should have seen the reaction on the table.
Yeah, it went silent. Like it was a lot
don't be so stupid.
a lot of silence, and there was a lot of negativity. But that's one of the things that drives me is hearing people say I can't do things, and that's what drives me to make them happen. So right now, there's still people that I'm sure don't think that I'll make around the world. They didn't think I'd be able to get this boat done, but what it does excite me is showing people wrong, and also inspiring people, and the people that have got in touch with me just out of the blue from in the last few weeks in particular has been awesome, and I've just been it's given me goosebumps. So I'm really excited to be here.
No, that's cool. And you now are moving over the realm of Nikki. I mean, she's not here, but we'll have to grab her.
Yeah, have to grab her. Yeah.
I mean, you sold the house.
Yeah,
and that's a statement on. I mean, the boats are only little boats, but the campaign is huge. Logistics and even with the boats, I mean, there's a lot of safety gear and so on. Yeah. It's not, it's still money, but selling the house was a bold move.
That's
right. Tell us the story, because you're saying it's brought the whole family together.
It has, yeah. Well, so for me, I was working through while I was building this. It took me 4 years to build this boat because I had to work, and the only time I had any spare time was on the weekends or early in the morning or late at night. And it got to the end of last year, towards the end of last year, and we had to make a decision whether I was going to do this race. Which meant to do this race I had to focus on it full time, which meant quitting my job, and then quitting my job meant we don't have the money to afford the mortgage in the house. So we had a lot of discussions with Nikki, and a lot of people, people say it's selfish and all these sorts of things, but Nikki is my biggest supporter, and my family are my biggest supporters. And if I didn't have her support, I wouldn't be doing this race. Very lucky to have her involved, and she's just as excited as me for this race. And if she ever says to me this, I can't do it, then I have to say it's not for me. But having her on board is just amazing. So.
Absolutely, she's like me. I'm excited about it. I'm not even doing it. But anyway, that's a big part of the whole deal. There's a lot of time involved. There's going to be the next 15 months you're on the water sailing.
Yeah,
it's 15 months. It's a huge commitment. And it was only 4 months ago we had 18 people trying to get there. Now we've got 15 for the mini globe race, and we've got 12 for the Transat.
Yeah.
And if you look at a year before, I mean, we were potentially swamped with entries, but now we've come down to the hardcore 15.
Yeah.
So it's a credit to you all.
And as I said, it's required a lot of sacrifice, and that's where the name come into it. Immortal Game is chess is one of the things I do with my son, and Immortal Game is a game from the 1800s where the most famous chess game in history, where a guy sacrificed his major pieces to win the game at the end of the day. And for us, it's been about making sacrifices, not necessarily to win the race, but to achieve the goal of finishing. So,
where's your book? You got a copy of the book here?
I don't think.
Jeepers, you gave them all away.
I did.
I got one. Okay, because you've done a book as well. We'll plug it later on, but the book's cool. Okay, that's all pretty good. So thanks for the tour, the Cook's tour. I'll show you the view from outside there. There's the view. Jane's doing a runner. Look at that, she's gone already. But anyway, you button this up in a storm, and the whole thing is the boat's built to scantlings for about a 10-metre boat. They're really strong. You know, we're still getting people comments online, you know, just saying about how, I'll turn this around, before I say hello, how it's a little boat, but it's built like a big boat. Yeah,
and I've sailed it so from Adelaide to Port Lincoln, I've sailed it, past Cape Spencer and had 6-7 metre seas now and tested it, and that was a big test for me to see, whether I was comfortable in getting this boat out there.
Yeah.
And absolutely, I felt safe in the boat. And I feel, it's definitely possible.
Yeah,
so
very good. Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. Thank you, Dan the man. We've got 2 Dans, very confusing, But anyway.
2 DTs, 2
yeah, cool.
DNTs.
Okay, I'll...
Nicky.
Oh, Nicky's here. Oh, look, he's here. Come, just stick your head in the hatch, Nicky. We were just saying that that you sold the house. I was going to do a funny line then, but it might not have been so funny because you really did sell the house.
We sure did.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how you? In fact, maybe you sit over there because you've got the sun behind you and it's a bad look. So how are you feeling about this whole thing?
Yeah, good.
Hang on, I've got to control the camera. Here we go. Rightio.
I'm excited for Dan, a little bit nervous, but it's definitely something that we've been trying to achieve over the last 4 years, so we're ready now,
cool.
which is good. I think the kids are nervous, but we are also super proud of Dan and everything that he's managed to achieve so far in his life. And we know that this is just the next stage for him. So let's do it.
Tell me the worst part about the discussion of selling the house. Not the worst part. So describe it to me, how it evolved, just your side.
Definitely. So I think when Dan was first researching what to do and how to do the MGR, we were trying to work out how to financially best approach this as a family, and that looked for us as though we had to sell the house in order to be able to complete this journey, but the discussion was, as long as our family is safe and we're doing the right thing, then that ensures that Dan can get this journey underway and achieved. So we're happy to do it, and you never know what might come out of it. It might be life-changing for us.
Absolutely.
So,
it's one step at a time.
One thing we say, we have a lot of belief, so we don't know what's going to come out of this race. There's no prize money, there's nothing like that, but we feel that it will change our lives. We don't know what that will look like, but we have belief it will.
Yeah, and we're definitely willing together to take the risk.
Yeah.
I have enough faith in Dan and everything that he's achieved so far to be able to do that.
Can I ask you what you do? What's your other life?
My other life, when I am at home, I am at work. I'm a therapist and also a stepmother as well. So our youngest is 15. We also have 2 dogs which run riot, but we have a very beautiful and very full life. So we're very privileged in that regard. And I think that this is, for us, the next stage to complete that chapter for Dan. So to be able to accomplish this dream and something that he's always thought about doing, it really means a lot to us as a family, and we are, even to get this far, we're super proud of him. Yeah. So I can't believe it.
So what's your logistics for the next 15 months? Like going around, what are you going to do?
Shit, that's a huge question. I think in relation to being able to get through it, even as a therapist, our perspective is to get through every day, to knock off those small jobs and what that might look like, to then discuss the next port of call and how to negotiate that. And what needs to be achieved next is, we are very open in our communication and we do talk every day, and it's something that's needed. We have to have a certain level of trust and autonomy that Dan's going to be able to do it, but also I'm his backup if and when required. So I really take the job of campaign manager like 110%.
He's a serious campaign manager.
He needs to be able to do it. So I think it's just having that kind of train of thought and that motivation to get him through every day.
Yeah, so the crisis management planning and training at the briefing the other day didn't freak you out?
Not at all, no.
We've heard this stuff before.
I feel like, yeah, it's definitely, I guess our experience in our past has led us into this. And yes, it will be the longest journey that he's ever undertaken, but there's no fear there whatsoever. We're just going to take every day as it comes.
So we're going to see you in Antigua? You coming to Antigua?
No, unfortunately not.
Not Lanzarote either?
No.
So it's going to be Fiji.
Fiji.
Fiji, cool.
Yes.
So that'll be a big one. Incentive to go fast.
I'll be going there quickly.
Safely, but
Oh,
quickly.
yeah. I'll be trying to get there quickly anyway.
Yeah,
That's cool. All right, I've got to say, you're managing it like a pro campaign. I mean, you've got a lot of support in Adelaide.
Yes.
You're getting a lot of media over there and
Yes.
a lot of friends coming in and backing you up. And tell me how, because you guys somehow, the jeweler produced like a $30,000 or $25,000 thing.
Oh, yeah.
The brooch.
Tell us the story behind that. And
Well,
then it got auctioned off or something like that.
Yeah. Well, so the story of that one, it was actually a mate that I used to take prisoners around and take them to courthouses back in the day, and
All your mates.
yeah, it's just random. And so a good mate of mine, Andrew, I met him doing that job, and we were just friends back in the day, and I'd help him out with some physical training and things like that. And we didn't talk to each other for years. And then he randomly caught up with us in a shopping centre. He goes, "Oh, I've been following your campaign. I haven't spoke to you about it, but I'm just buying this jewellery business and I want to support you. What can I do?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, well, that's lovely. You don't have to do anything." And then all of a sudden, the next thing I know, he's produced this thing for me, and I was like, "Holy hell!" And that was, with the sale of that, which funnily enough, my parents won on the auction, but
Your parents bought it.
yeah, well, it was an auction, and they said they didn't tell us. They said, "Oh, whatever it goes to, we're just going to make sure we're the winners, so it's going to stay in the family," which is even cooler at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But that money's allowed us to purchase this hydro vein, so that was
Correct, it got us
because
to
we were
the
trying
start.
to figure out how we're going to fund that, because financially it's been challenging, and that was because of him we were able to do that. So
Yeah,
Fair
that
enough.
beautiful Salem brooch.
Okay, that's enough.
Lovely.
The boat people would have probably dropped off about 20 minutes ago,
yeah, they're like, God,
Anyway, some people are after the human side,
yeah.
Yeah,
oh,
definitely.
jeepers, look at that. There's another whole lot.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
22 Chocos. Andrew Stanley and Val Hennessy. Oh, there's some familiar names there.
Yes, there is. Yeah.
Because I sailed away from Adelaide in 73 and never really returned. No, 78 or 9. Never really returned. But
Yeah,
anyway,
okay.
another story. Okay,
Yeah.
that's it. Oh, look at that. Got you, Jane. All right, I'm going to say goodbye.
Lovely.
We'll say goodbye to everybody.
Thanks,
We'll turn it
guys.
off in a minute.
Keep following.
Okay, thanks, everyone.
See ya.
Yep, okay, now I've got to just press the button. I think I hit that.